The family trip was supposed to be a delightful break for Elena and her kids, a much-needed getaway without her husband, who couldn't take time off from his new job. However, during a quiet evening in the hotel, Elena's phone pinged with a notification from their doorbell camera back home. The live feed displayed something that she never expected to see. As she watched, her face drained of color and her hands started shaking as she dialed 911 to call for help. "Mommy, what is it? Can't we say hi to Daddy?" her daughter Maya asked. The kids recognized the doorbell notification sound by now, and they were always excited to say hello whenever they knew someone was at the door. But this time, something was different. They saw it on their mother's face. Elena did not reply for a few seconds, and she stared at the screen in silence, her eyes wide and her hands shaking. "Mommy, can I see?" Maya asked again, and at that moment, Elena finally snapped back to reality. "No, honey, it's just the delivery man. I think he's at the wrong address. I need to make a call, okay?" Maya and her older brother Jonas nodded, satisfied with this answer, and they turned their attention back to the TV again. They didn't see their mother's eyes fill with tears as she slipped into the bathroom and locked the door behind her. She sat down on the edge of the bathtub and took a deep, shuddering breath, trying to calm herself down. "I'm sure it's nothing. It's fine. Everything is fine," she whispered to herself as she took her phone to look at the footage again. Perhaps she had been mistaken. Maybe it was just a misunderstanding. With trembling fingers, she pressed play, hoping and praying that she had seen it wrong. However, the footage showed exactly what Elena had been afraid of. She saw a stranger standing in front of their house, banging on the door. She turned on the sound and heard that the man was saying, "Please, I need help. It's an emergency. You have to help me, please." He sounded very upset and afraid, but it was all an act. This man was dangerous. Elena replayed the video one more time, and there was no doubt about it. The man was holding a gun. His call for help was obviously just a scheme to lure innocent people out of their homes. Immediately, she dialed her husband's number. She could only hope that he had not opened the door for that man. She listened to the beeping sound for a few moments, and when nobody picked up, she tried calling him again. This time, again, no answer. Elena was getting really stressed out now, and she could barely hold back the tears. "Oh no! Sam! No!" she exclaimed as she opened the doorbell app on her phone again. She saw that there was a new recording, which had been saved after the video she had just watched. With trembling hands, she clicked on it, terrified of what she might see on there. That stranger's face appeared on her screen again, asking for help and sounding very believable at doing so. She didn't want to watch what would happen next, but she knew she had to. For a moment, it remained silent. She felt a shimmer of hope at the thought that perhaps Sam had not been at home, or he simply had not opened the door. But this hope was shattered a few seconds later. She heard the door open, and Sam's voice said, "Sir, are you all right? Do you need help?" And then the stranger smashed the doorbell camera, and everything turned black. In the last second, she only heard a scream, and she could only assume it was Sam's. At this moment, Maya knocked on the door and asked, "Mommy, are you okay? I'm hungry." Elena took a deep breath and wiped her tears, dialing 911 on her phone. "Honey, I'll be right there. Just wait a couple of minutes," she said through the door while she paced back and forth in the bathroom, waiting for someone to pick up. Her husband was in trouble, and she was an entire plane flight away from him. She felt helpless, but she knew she had to do something. 911, what's your emergency?" a voice said through the phone, and Elena burst out in tears. She could not even form a complete sentence and only managed to say, "My husband! Doorbell! He had a gun!" Of course, this was useless to the dispatcher. Luckily, the man managed to calm her down, and Elena was finally able to tell him what had happened. She gave him their home address and the dispatcher said that they were going to send a team of officers to their house right away. "Please, hurry! He could be hurt! Please, you have to help him!" Elena cried into the phone again. Again, she heard a soft knock on the door, and Jason's voice asking, "Mom, are you crying?" She wiped away her tears and finally opened the door, facing her children. "Well, have you spoken to the delivery man?" Maya asked. "Was he angry?" Elena looked into her eyes and smiled, and she answered, "Yes, but everything will be okay." She was actually trying to console herself by saying this, but it did not work. Elena could not stop staring at her phone, waiting for an update, and the image of that horrible man at their door would just not disappear from her mind. She kept telling herself, "Stay calm, he will be all right. It will be okay." But she didn't believe a word of it. She waited and waited for the phone to ring, hoping to hear some good news. In the dim glow of twilight, the police cars pulled up to Elena's house. The front door stood ajar, ominous in its neglect. Inside, they found signs of a struggle. Furniture overturned, shattered glass, and scattered belongings. The officers exchanged concerned glances as they secured the area, their senses on high alert. Sam's whereabouts remained a mystery, and the identity of the intruder was still unknown. The house, once a sanctuary, now bore the scars of an unsettling intrusion. Elena sat in the hotel room, her heart pounding in her chest. Her calls to Sam had gone unanswered, and the silence on the other end of the line gnawed at her. Meanwhile, the police combed through her home for any clue that could lead them to her missing husband. The minutes felt like hours as Elena's worry intensified. She struggled to contain her anxiety, her mind consumed by the unfolding mystery back home. Inside the house, the eerie silence echoed through the rooms. The police continued their investigation, meticulously examining the unsettling scene. The once familiar surroundings now felt alien and foreboding. Every creak of a floorboard, every rustle of curtains added to the mounting tension. The absence of voices and laughter made the empty home feel colder, lonelier, and the unanswered questions weighed heavily on Elena's heart. The police's discovery of the intruder's presence shattered the tranquility that once enveloped the family home. They painstakingly pieced together the chaos and confusion that had unfolded within those walls. Each room told a different story of the intrusion, leaving the officers with a puzzle that defied easy solutions. While Elena's children remained unaware of the danger, the family's world had been irrevocably disrupted. Amid the scattered belongings and signs of a struggle, the police were left with a growing sense of bewilderment. There was no sign of Sam or the intruder. The unanswered questions hung heavily in the air, casting long shadows over Elena's hopes. She couldn't shake the image of the menacing stranger at her door. As she waited for news, uncertainty gnawed at her, and she clung to the desperate hope that her family would be reunited soon. Elena's fingers trembled as she dialed her neighbors' numbers one by one. She made desperate calls, hoping someone had seen something unusual. Her voice quivered as she asked about any suspicious activity around her home. One neighbor hesitated before recalling a parked vehicle near their house a few days ago, dismissing it as unimportant at the time. Elena's heart raced with a glimmer of hope that this small lead might bring her closer to Sam. With the mention of the suspicious vehicle, Elena's hope burned brighter. She clung to the possibility that this detail could provide a breakthrough. Her determination to find Sam grew stronger with each passing moment. She knew that every shred of information, no matter how insignificant it seemed, could be the key to reuniting her family. The mention of the suspicious vehicle added a new layer to the investigation. The police took immediate interest in this lead, realizing its potential significance. They initiated inquiries, hoping to trace the vehicle's owner and any connections to the intruder. The once overlooked detail now held the promise of uncovering the truth and bringing them closer to Sam's whereabouts. Elena's fear escalated as she contemplated the possibility that the danger had been lurking near her family for days, unseen and unnoticed. She was resolute in her determination to uncover the truth, no matter the cost. The shadows of uncertainty loomed large, but she knew that she couldn't rest until her family was safe and the mystery surrounding the intruder unraveled. As minutes turned into hours, time became a relentless adversary. Elena and the police understood the urgency of finding Sam before it was too late. With the newfound lead of the suspicious vehicle, the search for clues intensified. Every second counted in their race against time. Elena's heart pounded as she knew that they were closing in on the critical moment when they would discover if Sam was safe or in grave danger. Inside the police station, officers meticulously reviewed additional security footage from Elena's home. The chilling revelation sent shivers down their spines. The intruder had been casing the house for days, lurking in the shadows and watching their every move. This sinister premeditation added a sense of urgency to the situation. The fear that Sam might be in real danger weighed heavily on everyone's minds. Patterns began to emerge as the police analyzed the intruder's actions in the security footage. They meticulously pieced together a timeline of events leading up to the current crisis. Each calculated move, every covert action, revealed a methodical and sinister mind at work. The puzzle was slowly taking shape, but it was clear that the intruder was not an ordinary criminal. The police delved deeper into the intruder's background, desperate to understand his motivations and connections. They combed through records and interviewed potential associates. Elena, gripped by anxiety, awaited any news on Sam's whereabouts. The mysterious intruder's actions raised more questions than answers, leaving everyone struggling to comprehend the depths of the threat they faced. As the investigation unfolded, it became chillingly clear that the intruder had meticulously planned his actions. His sinister plot left no room for error, and every move had been calculated to perfection. The stakes soared higher as the police realized they were dealing with a cunning adversary. Elena's heart raced with the daunting realization that her family's safety hung in the balance. Elena's patience wore thin as she anxiously waited for updates from the police. Each passing moment felt like an eternity, and the clock's relentless ticking served as a constant reminder of the urgency of the situation. The grueling weight weighed heavily on her as she struggled to maintain hope. She knew that time was of the essence, and every second counted in their race against the unknown. A mother's determination. Despite the advice to stay put, Elena's maternal instinct drove her to action. With a heart heavy with worry for Sam and her children's safety, she made a resolute decision. Ignoring her own fear, she booked a flight back home immediately. Her determination burned brightly, a fierce resolve to be close to the investigation and protect her family. The airport bustled with hurried travelers, but for Elena, time seemed to slow. She boarded the plane, her heart a heavy anchor of worry. Every second that passed felt like an eternity. Her thoughts were consumed by Sam's safety and her children's well-being. She knew that the race against time had begun, and there was no room for delay. As the plane soared through the sky, Elena's mind drifted to memories of her life with Sam. She recalled the moments they'd shared, the laughter, the love, and the challenges they'd overcome together. Determination coursed through her veins, and she vowed to bring him back safely. The flight felt endless, but she clung to the hope of reuniting her family. Elena's love for her family was an unwavering source of strength. It fueled her determination to find Sam and protect her children. She promised herself that she would do whatever it took to reunite her family and ensure their safety. The love that bound them together was a powerful force that would guide her through the trials that lay ahead. As the plane touched down, Elena's desperation intensified. The airport's familiar sights were now a stark reminder of the unknown dangers that awaited her. She knew that the real challenges lay ahead as she prepared to join the investigation on the ground. Her heart ached with the weight of uncertainty, but she steeled herself for the difficult journey ahead. driven by an unwavering determination to bring her family back together. A moment of hope pierced through the darkness when a local pawn shop owner contacted the police. Recognizing the intruder from the security footage released to the media, he provided a name and crucial information. The intruder had shown interest in purchasing a firearm just days ago, shedding light on his intentions. Elena clung to this newfound lead, her heart filled with a glimmer of hope that they were getting closer to finding Sam. With the pawn shop owner's revelation, the police began connecting the dots, delving into the intruder's background. Elena's heart lifted slightly as she sensed progress being made. The investigation gained momentum, and a faint glimmer of hope ignited within her. As they pieced together the puzzle, the path to Sam became clearer. As the investigation deepened, a shroud of darkness descended. Disturbing details about the intruder's past came to light, leaving Elena reeling. The realization dawned that her family might be in even greater danger than she had initially feared. The threat they faced was far more sinister than anyone had anticipated, casting a long shadow of dread over Elena's hopes. The police painstakingly unraveled the motive behind the intruder's actions, exposing a long-standing grudge against Sam. Elena stood shocked by the depth of the threat they were facing. The calculated revenge plot against her husband revealed a menacing adversary who would stop at nothing to achieve his sinister goals. The motives behind the chaos were slowly coming to light. With each revelation, the police delved deeper into the intruder's history with Sam, uncovering a complex web of betrayal and revenge. Elena grappled with the painful realization that her husband's past had come back to haunt them, and the consequences were far more dire than anyone could have imagined. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, painting a chilling picture of their adversary. Upon her return, Elena was briefed by the police. They showed her a picture of the intruder, and her shock was palpable. It was someone from Sam's past, a former business associate with a grudge. She hadn't recognized him in the footage, but this photo left no doubt. With determination and fear gnawing at her, Elena joined the police to track down potential hideouts, leading to a tense search operation. Her emotions were a turbulent sea, torn between hope and fear for Sam's safety. Elena's resolve remained unwavering as she joined the police in their search for the intruder. Driven by determination and a lingering fear for her family's safety, she followed the officers to various locations, helping gather information and following leads. The hunt was on, and every step brought them closer to unraveling the mystery and finding Sam. Amid the search, Elena grappled with guilt for not recognizing the intruder sooner and for not being there to protect her family. The weight of responsibility bore heavily on her, but she was determined to make amends. Her resolve to bring Sam home and ensure her family's safety burned with an unyielding intensity. As the day gave way to night, the search for Sam grew more challenging. Darkness descended, shrouding their efforts. Elena refused to succumb to despair, knowing that every minute counted in their quest to find her husband. The urgency of their mission was a relentless force, propelling them forward into the unknown. Elena's emotions were a tumultuous sea as they combed through the city in search of Sam. Her heart ached with the uncertainty of his fate, but she clung to hope with unwavering determination. Each lead they followed carried the promise of answers, and she held on to the belief that they would soon be reunited with her husband. Back at the house, Elena's children, Maya and Jonas, recalled a strange call they had received a few days before their trip. They described a man's voice, inquiring about their father's whereabouts. It was a detail they hadn't considered important until now. The memory sent shivers down Elena's spine, and she knew this might hold a key to finding Sam. The children's recollection of the mysterious call added a new dimension to the investigation. The police considered it a potential clue as they continued their relentless search for Sam. Every piece of information, no matter how small, was a vital part of the puzzle, and Elena clung to the hope that it might lead them closer to her husband. The police conducted interviews with Maya and Jonas to gather more information about the mysterious call. Dread filled Elena's heart as she realized the danger her family might have been in even before their trip. The sinister threads of the mystery were becoming clearer, and the need to find Sam grew more urgent with each revelation. Despite the fear and uncertainty, Elena's family remained united in their determination to bring Sam home. They shared their insights with the police, hoping that their combined efforts would lead to a breakthrough. The bond between them was unbreakable, a source of strength that fueled their resolve. The information from the children's account and the pawn shop owner's tip began to converge, providing the police with a clearer picture of the intruder's movements. Elena's hope intensified as they closed in on their target. The pieces of the puzzle were falling into place, and the search for Sam was reaching a critical juncture. Armed with information from the pawn shop owner and the children's account, the police devised a risky plan. They set up a meticulous sting operation to ensnare the intruder, a daring strategy fraught with uncertainty. Elena's heart raced with anxiety as she anxiously awaited news, her every hope hinging on Sam's safe return. The minutes felt like hours in the agonizing wait. The police orchestrated the sting operation with precision, fully aware of the high stakes involved. Every officer was acutely focused, knowing that any misstep could jeopardize Sam's safety. Elena's heart pounded in her chest as she realized that the moment of truth was fast approaching. Every detail of the plan had to go perfectly to ensure Sam's safety. Elena fervently prayed for the success of the police operation, her pleas echoing with heartfelt desperation. Her faith and hope remained unwavering as she sought divine intervention to protect her beloved husband. She knew that Sam's life hung in the balance, and her prayers were a testament to the depth of her love and determination. Her pleas were like whispered mantras, carrying her through the tense hours. As the sting operation unfolded, tension hung in the air like a heavy cloud. Elena and the police held their breath, their nerves taut with anticipation. Every passing moment felt like an eternity as they waited for the intruder to take the bait, their hopes riding on the outcome. The quiet surroundings were broken only by the rapid beating of anxious hearts. In a dramatic turn of events, the police successfully captured the intruder. Elena's overwhelming relief washed over her, tears of joy and anxiety streaming down her cheeks. The arrest marked a pivotal moment in their ordeal, and she knew they were one step closer to finding Sam. The culmination of their efforts marked a significant breakthrough, and the path to reuniting her family seemed more attainable than ever. With the captured intruder in custody, the police wasted no time in bringing him in for questioning. Elena's anxiety remained at an all-time high as she anxiously awaited answers. Every second seemed to stretch into an eternity as she clung to the hope that they would finally learn of Sam's whereabouts. The police pressed the captured intruder for information about Sam's location with a relentless determination. Elena's heart raced with anticipation as she desperately hoped for a breakthrough that would lead them to her husband. The interrogation room became a battleground of questions and tension, and the answers they sought hung in the balance. The captured intruder revealed that Sam had left subtle clues behind during his captivity, an ingenious strategy to aid in his own rescue. Elena's admiration for her husband's resourcefulness soared as she realized the depth of his determination to reunite with his family. Armed with the clues provided by the intruder, the police wasted no time. They launched a high-stakes rescue operation to find Sam. Elena's hope and fear reached their peak as they embarked on this perilous mission. The path to her husband felt closer than ever, but the risks remained high. In a moment of triumph, the police located Sam, injured but alive, thanks to the subtle clues he had left behind during his captivity. Elena's overwhelming relief washed over her as they prepared to reunite her with her husband. The long, harrowing journey was reaching its end, and the prospect of their family being together once more filled her heart with joy. Elena and her children rushed to the hospital, their hearts heavy with a mix of emotions. As they entered Sam's room, the bittersweet moment hung in the air. Tears flowed freely as they embraced, their collective relief tangible. In that hospital room, they confronted the trauma of the ordeal, finding solace in their togetherness. Amidst the trials they faced, the family leaned on each other for support and strength. Their love and resilience shone through, unwavering in the face of adversity. Together, they began the arduous process of healing, knowing that their unity was their greatest asset. As the pieces of the puzzle fell into place, the family learned the true motive behind the intruder's actions, a revenge plot stemming from a business deal gone wrong years ago. The revelation was a bitter pill to swallow, but it provided closure and a sense of understanding. The story concluded with the family slowly rebuilding their lives, strengthened by their shared experiences. The bonds of love and unity that had carried them through the darkest days now served as their foundation. Each day brought them closer to a brighter future, and their resilience was a testament to the power of family bonds. With the past behind them, the family looked to the future with hope and determination. They knew that their love and unity would guide them through any challenges that came their way. Together, they forged a path towards a brighter tomorrow, their hearts filled with optimism and gratitude for the precious gift of family.